everyone. How are you today? We are dealing with some major rain and gloom. And I actually think spring's supposed to be here in the Northeast, but I haven't seen it. But we're just going to keep going forth, right? So, okay, today at RTS, what are we going to do? Today we are going to, well, we're going to make a page kit. And we're going to make a page kit as a knockoff from a release that just hit the shelves. So I think what we're going to call this is Ready to Scrap. You know, the whole RTS thing. So, ready to scrap. And one way to get ready to scrap in an efficient manner is to have page kits made ahead of time. And once again, I apologize for the lighting. I'm learning, folks, so I don't know. We're going to go with what we have, and it's not the most professional, but we will learn as we go. So bear with me on that. I apologize. So, okay, today we are going to make a kit with a version of the new Pink Paislee Auburn Lane collection that just hit the shelves. And it is a beautiful collection. And the reason I'm doing this is because some of you know I am on a self-imposed year-long spending freeze. And so what do you do when you see things hit the shelves? Well, you want it, but I'm not going to buy it because I'm trying to learn why I spend, how much I spend, and why I keep spending when it comes to scrapbook supplies. But that will be another video coming up because I'm 3 months into my spending freeze and things I've learned and not learned. So let's get started. And I will say this video may get long, but it's kind of like a tutorial, right? So we can do what we want. It's our channel. We're crafters. We're going to get together and do what we want. And so I say stop this video, grab something to drink, put a load of laundry in, take some time for yourself. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So let's get started. And I want to say right off the bat that if you want to see this collection, this beautiful collection by Pink Paislee in its glory and in all of its beautifulness, I encourage you to go check out Jen Schow here on YouTube. I will link her video below because she did an excellent job showcasing this collection. And also, too, what I do when I'm going to follow along will probably almost be in the same sequence that Jen showed her papers. And so I just thought that would be a fun way to do because when I was pulling these papers, I used the Pink Paislee website to see the images of their product, and then also too I used Jen's video to get maybe a closer look, a real look at these papers, because what you see on your monitor screen sometimes isn't what it is in person. So it's all good. And I have Jen's permission to reference her video, so that's all good. Don't anybody throw any shade my way, okay? Jen was said, oh, more than welcome. And also, too, I want to say if you have never looked into Jen Schow's classes, you really must. She does an excellent job with them, very affordable, and I love her classes, especially her sketch classes. They are wonderful. So I will have those links below, and I will have the link to this Auburn Lane by Pink Paislee. I'll have that with a couple stores. So let's get rolling. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about papers first, and then I'll probably pause the video and get the embellishments laid out, and we'll talk about that. Okay, so right off the bat, I think what I'm going to do is pull these aside, so maybe we will have more room. I'm always out of room in my scrap space, but okay. So the first paper we have that Pink Paislee showed was this beautiful copper foil vellum. Okay, say that 3 times fast, okay? So I knew I had some copper. I don't have a lot of copper in my inventory. I have some. So I found this copper vellum. It's beautiful. Now I want to say with this collection right off the bat, when you see a collection you want, get a, take a little bit of time to get the look and the feel and the color scheme of the collection, and then when you see product in your inventory, you'll be like, oh, okay, that's going to go, that's going to go. And so with this, you can see the color scheme has a variety of colors. We have a heavy reference of floral, a few geometrics, few basics, and you have a motif of home. So anything that would be in your home that makes you think of home, pull it. floral, easy to replicate. We have a little bit of wood grain and some basic geometrics, and we'll talk about that as we go. And then also too, in this collection, they were heavily using a copper foil. Use any metallic you have. If you want to go with gold, go with gold. If you want to go with silver, go with silver. If you have copper, rose gold, you pick the metallic that you want and what you have in your inventory. Okay. So this would be a good option, but then as I was looking, when Jen was showing her paper in the collection, it's a beautiful, oh, it's just got a pink floral tint to it. Of course, I got the florals covered here. So I found this blush sheet as I was going through things, and I thought, if I layered this vellum over this blush, isn't that a good substitution for what's in the collection? Boy, howdy, yes, I like that. So I'm going to get a glare. I'm probably going to have to keep this foil over, this vellum sheet over this way. Okay, so that's the first one. Second sheet is we have cut aparts, and the B side is a pink watercolor. So I'll talk about these cut aparts in just a minute because I don't really have a sheet that will represent all of these motifs and these colors, but I'll show you what I do, a quick way to do these cut aparts. I'll do that at the end. Second sheet was a pink watercolor. Easy to do. Of course, that copper foil was from We Are Memory Keepers, if you want to know these things. And this pink watercolor actually is a simple story. So right off the bat, I have 2 manufacturers, okay? And you're going to see how this all comes together. Okay, the third sheet is a wood grain and a floral, black and white floral. And of course, the wood grains, if you love me, if I see a wood grain, I'm running toward that puppy. I love my wood grains. I think wood grain reminds me of home. And I think that's probably why it was in the collection. So here we go. We got this started. And I would love to go left to right because I'm a left-handed person. It just makes more sense. So I'll just try to cover up that foil as much as I can and stay in frame. So this is what we got going on, okay? Oh, and this is just the embellishments, and I'll go over that in just a sec. Okay, so we got our wood grain, and you see how this is a darker wood grain? That's exactly what I did. And this was going vertically, so this was made to go horizontal, but I can just flip that to horizontal and bing, bang, boom, there we go. We got the same thing. Again, another Simple Stories paper. Okay, the B side is a black and white or a black and cream floral, okay? You can go either way, and I will tell you when this collection was done, for me, I have cream and I have white in one collection, which is good because then I really don't know what I'm going to scrapbook just yet, but I have a huge variety of options, and I love that. Okay, so again, we're going to keep going fast. So you see how this is coming along? Very good start for a knockoff, right? Second sheet was a floral. And again, what are we paying attention to? We're paying attention to not only the colors, but the scale. Okay, these aren't small. So I want to try to find a floral in a bigger scale with some color scheme. It doesn't have to just be purple and green. As long as it has any of these colors represented, you're going to be good. And so what did I find? I found this. Oh, I don't like those branding strips, so that's upside down. But this is the floral I chose. And look, I have this pink and the maroon and this green. Beautiful, beautiful sheet. I was trying to think where this came from. I think, no, I don't want to think. Where did that come from? Oh, this came from a Recollections paper pad from Michael's, of all places. Can you believe that? Yes, and I think it was called Family Tree. I know it was. It was called Family Tree. It's a beautiful paper pad. Okay, so, I mean, could that be any more perfect? Oh, I love how this is coming together already. Okay, the B side was, it looks like a teal aqua green, which looks like this, but when Jen was showing it, I thought it looked more forest green. So that's what I picked. Okay, and this came from a Craftsmith paper pad, again from Michael's. So what do I have? I have 4 or 5 because this is an authentic paper. I already have, what, 4 or 5 manufacturers that's coming together to represent this pink Paislee. I love when that happens, okay? Now, as you're pulling these papers, one tip I want to say is if you see maybe with this, I had more than one option, go ahead and pull them both, maybe 3. It doesn't matter because at the end you can do a final cut. Or you can do what I did, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so moving right along, what do we have? We have a black and white graphic. Okay, and I think these were more like maybe a diagonal or a triangle, and that's exactly what I found. I found a black and white triangle. Love how that looks. This was from a first edition paper pad, and I will have a video coming up about that company. It's a new company to me. I have never really heard of this. I think they're hard to find, but lovely papers. Okay, B-side was just a black and white or a black and cream. You can go whichever way you want. Excuse me. And it has a small text. It could be a print text, or it could be a cursive text. Whatever you have in your stash, go with it. And don't spend a lot of time trying to find the perfect. There's no such thing as perfect in anything. In any hobby, any craft, anything in life. There's nothing perfect. Pick what you like, run with it. Okay, don't spend a lot of time. Okay, now this sheet was, as soon as I saw this, I will have to tell you, I thought, oh, by the way, my mind's eye. So how many is that? Are we going on to 7 manufacturers? Okay, I love that. I will probably keep saying that, but when I saw this, I thought, oh, this reminds me of Simple Stories line. It just came out, and some of you will know that looks like Simple Stories Vintage Bliss with the icon of the home and the colors. And so I knew that's what it reminded me of, and I wanted to use it. Okay? But guess what? This is all I have of that. But this would be a great option for this kit. It has the same colors. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's cream or white. It doesn't matter because in this collection there's both. But wouldn't that have been a good option? But I don't know if I'm going to stick this in that or keep that with that collection because I'm still playing with that collection. But that would be a really good option if you have that piece of paper. And you maybe want to reuse it in another one. Maybe you have 2 sheets. Put one in this collection. But that's not what I went with. What I went with is I went with this. Because of the home feel and the botanical feel, I went with the butterflies. You can never go wrong with butterflies on anything. So I'm going to try to keep this in frame, ladies. I'm sorry. And so this, again, has the same color scheme. It's an icon motif. Can cut these out. And that's what I went with. Okay, it's not home, but it's butterflies. It's in the same color scheme. And the thing is, you think, what would I do with this paper? Well, for me, I would probably cut these homes out. And that's what I thought. I just need something that has the representative color scheme and that I would probably cut out. And so that's what I went with. Okay, and I think these, oh, this is a Hobby Lobby Paper Studio. Okay, how many manufacturers is that? Okay, so the B-side to this was a subtle watercolor black and white dot. I did not have a black and white dot that had anybody of a color. A watercolor feel to it, so I found this one. And this was from Prima. And I think that, yeah, Rose Quartz, I believe is the Rose Quartz. So, again, another manufacturer that's going to come together to build this wonderful Auburn Lane collection. Okay, and so it's not exactly, I don't have no polka dot, but that's okay. It's just to get a replica, you know, a version of what they have. Okay, next sheet is another floral, and we have more of a bold floral than this one, and it's the background is black, but again, you can go with any color scheme represented here. It's what you like. And so I found this beautiful paper that is from Craftsmith again. I can't think of that. I think it was Backyard Patio or Patio something, but it was a year or so ago. And the B-side of this was another forest green or teal. You take that color however you want. In this, it shows teal. Online, it shows teal. But I thought when Jen showed it, I thought it had more of a forest green tint. And I tell you what, I don't have a lot of forest green in my inventory. I don't know what it is. And see, this had more of a forest green. Okay, so that's why I went with this. Okay, and this was Simple Stories. This is from the Legacy collection. That was a really nice collection. So there we go. We have that. I think this is just coming together beautiful. I am already thinking when I'm putting this kit together, what am I going to use it for? What pictures do I want to use? I know I want to do something about home, maybe when I was younger, or maybe different homes I've had, or maybe my home now, or what makes me feel like home. So in my mind, I'm already thinking, what stories do I want to tell? What pictures do I want to pick? And I know that Nicole Jones, she does that too when she's putting together kits, and she has a lot of videos on her YouTube channel about putting kits together, so I will link that below because I love Nicole. Okay, the next page is a geometric shape. You can see the triangles. If you don't have triangles, that's okay. Just go with any geometric shape. Again, any color or a variety of colors represented in the collection. And so what I found was a old or basic gray. Some of you gals will know exactly what collection that's from. I don't know if it even says. No. But is it exactly this? No, but it's the triangles and these colors. And look, this floral motif is represented in the collection. So this was a happy accident. I was so glad I found that. Okay. The back side of that was a slight tone-on-tone pink. I didn't have a tone-on-tone pink diagonal, but what I had was a white and pink diagonal. This is from Simple Stories. I thought that'll go. And you'll see that there's different shades of pink. And there's also different shades of this green. So there's more than one shade of pink. So don't worry if your pinks aren't matchy-matchy. That's not the point. And I hope we're still in frame. We're going to keep going. The next sheet, maroon. Wow. You don't see maroon in a lot of collections, but in Pink Paislee's Moonstruck collection, they had maroon. Okay. So here we have, oh, this is old school. This is old school making, or my mind's eye. Look how that color is going to just blend with a lot of these other things. So again, very happy I found that. And one thing for me is I have a lot of my papers, not all my papers, a lot of my papers organized by color. So that makes putting kits like this together easy peasy. Okay, the next one. And this is a die cuts with a view, and it was simply on the B side a black and white stripe. We all have that because we all love it. So that was easy to find. You can tell anything with this, you know, that was from a paper pad itself. And so that was a die cuts with a view. Next sheet, black and white houndstooth, or if you have black and cream, you run with it. And I found this black and cream. And that came from a paper pad, and I don't know. I wrote some of these down. Oh, again, die cuts with a view. Okay? See how it's all coming together? When you start laying these out, and I sit on the floor when I do this. I just literally kick off my shoes. I sit on the floor. I go through my papers because my papers are on the bottom shelves of my bookcases. And so I just sit on the floor and I just start picking out papers. And again, if you find more than one option, go ahead and put it in another pile, because at the end you're like, I think I like that one a little bit better. So what did we find for the B side on this, which was a pink floral? I think was another floral, and it was a, basically a tone on tone. And so I saw this, and this is from, I think this is a Craftsmith, and it has the pink, tone on tone floral, but then it also adds in this element of the globe. And so I thought, I'm going to go with that. That is just another option for me to do. Okay, we're down to a few more sheets. Another floral. Again, you can see these florals are different scales. And so when you're picking out papers, pay attention to also not just your color, the floral, and then your color, but then also pay attention to your scale. I would say this is 75, a 50, and a 25 scale. And I talk about that in another video. So I found this, which was again, and you know what? Isn't that pattern basically the same thing? And this isn't Pink Paislee. This is die cuts with a view. I'm pretty sure it is. I know it is. And just love this. Again, you see how my floral scales, I took it right from Pink Paislee's queue, and I did, like a 50% scale, a bolder scale, and then a smaller scale. Okay, moving right along, the B side of that was a mustard yellow, and also had a little bit of a watercolor feel. Again, pulled out some Simple Stories. I think this from, what is that, the High Style. They have a lot of really good watercolor, subtle watercolor papers. Okay, we're still going to keep going along. Okay, so then what did we do here when we get to these more, I call these embellishments. I don't call them cut aparts, but they are, but they're basically used for embellishments. and maybe some layering on your clusters. So what I did was, I knew that some of these colors were represented in Pink Paislee's previous collection called Moonstruck, and so that's exactly what I did. I pulled this. Now you will see that some of these colors are brighter than what's in the collection, but that's okay, because look, you have the butterflies represented, you have the keys, which represents home, you have some of the, well, floral definitely, and then you have these black and white elements, and you have some of these teals if you wanted to play off that teal. It has maroon, and so this is the B side of that, which will also go. So if you have something from a previous Pink Paislee collection, look at it, because a lot of manufacturers will use the same color hues throughout their lines, and so they'll mix and match. So that's how I took that. I wanted something that would be embellishments or some layering foundations for clusters, and so I used that. Again, will all of these work? No, but I guarantee probably most of them, and it even has touches of maroon, which will play into that. Okay, the B side to this was just a gray, and I think that was, there was a geometric shape in there, but it didn't show up very good online. And so I just found this older, my mind's eye, Lost and Found. Who did not love that collection? You probably can't see that. Who did not love that Lost and Found collection? Oh, just love that. Again, the B side. And when I'm working with a collection, I don't pay attention to my B side. I pay attention to how I had it organized. These are my blacks, these are my maroons, these are my pinks. I don't look at the B sides if some of these have a B side. Some of them, they don't have a B side. Okay, last sheet, which was a beautiful sheet. This reminded me of a Heidi Swapp collection, and I did look a little bit for that, but apparently I don't have it, or I've already used it. So I just went with a black and white floral, and that's exactly what I did. I went with a black and white floral. Okay. And again, what was this? That was the back side of that Moonstruck. So again, it's going to go because it's Pink Paislee. And then the last sheet that was represented was a very subtle blush pink graph grid type of thing. And I found this one, and this is Echo Park. So again, another manufacturer to make this kit. And I tell you what, I don't know if you can see that, and I don't get all of these papers because that is quite a variety of papers. But isn't that a good representation, knockoff, of the Pink Paislee Auburn Lane? I am really tickled with this. Okay, now before I forget, we're going to go back to this cut apart. And so what I did, and I do a lot of times, because I just don't have the motifs or anything to match that. Sometimes you can find it. So what I do is I pull out some 6x6 papers, because you think 4 of these will make a 12x12 sheet. Okay, so what I did was I just pulled the color schemes. I did mustard yellow, I did a green, I did a wood grain, I did a little bit of cream text, and I did my pink, and that's how I represent this, because then I can use die cuts or punches to, you know, to have them as cut aparts or layering pieces or embellishments. So the other point I want to stress is, if you have, I'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay, and I don't want to make this too long because I'm going to keep on going. Oh my, I'm already 23 minutes. Oh, but I love this. Okay, sorry, you might have to watch this in 2 parts. But like I said, if you're doing this and you don't know which one, let's say you come up with a couple of different options, that's okay. Just put them in another pile. You can do a second cut once you spread these out, and you'll be like, oh, I like this option. No, I don't like this option. Let it be your guide. Now, I wanted to say something with this copper foil vellum sheet. That was the hardest for me to do. And it was right off the bat. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how long is this going to take for me to put together? But I found a couple different options, because not everybody has vellum, not everybody has copper, not everybody has foil. Well, I would say we do have foil. We're all, if you buy anything from Michael's, you have foil. And so what you can do is just pick a pink floral, and this had the botanical feel. So go with that. It doesn't even have to be vellum. And then if you don't have anything that's floral, but it's pink and foil, this is hearts. Both of those will go so well, okay? So don't be afraid to have, you know, a second pile started. And I will show you something. This is no joke. This is how many sheets that did not make my final cut. But as I was picking them out, I wanted to show different options. And these, I mean, look how many choices. When you start going through your papers, you will find more than one choice, and things just get easier and easier and easier. So this actually could be another whole kit, or this could be addition to this if I wanted to make it a mega kit. Like say if I was going to do an album, I would include all of these papers, or maybe I want to use these for my backgrounds rather than using cardstock, because sometimes I get in the habit of just pulling cardstock and I don't use pattern paper for backgrounds. So again, see these tags? Might not all exactly fit, but it has the butterflies, the home, the botanical, you know, different options, okay? So don't be afraid to pick out a couple. What makes the cut, makes the cut. What doesn't, no worries, okay? One last thought when it comes to paper. And I want you to tell me below if you think this is a good representation. Some of you may like it, some of you may not like it. That's okay. It's all about what you have in your inventory. And you'll say, okay, Janet, why do you call it inventory, not stash? Because I will say over the years, if you say the word stash, in my opinion, it kind of makes you, it doesn't make you feel bad. It just makes like, it makes you feel, oh, I have it and I don't use it. Or I don't think you give it enough value if you call it stash. Because to me, it's inventory. Meaning, this is product that I thought enough to buy. It's product I thought enough to organize many times over. And enough to keep it in good condition. So I consider it inventory. And I think the word inventory puts your supplies on a higher level. And I think you appreciate them more. You don't just see it as stash and product and things that you bought on clearance. No, it's product you love. It's your inventory, okay? That's why I call it inventory. I just think it gives you just a better feel of what we spend our money for. One last thought about paper. Go through your scraps. See what else. I mean, this is a good time to pull out your scraps. And honestly, all my scraps fit in a manila folder. But that's another story for another day. I use my scraps. And if I don't use them, I lose them. I don't hang on to a ton of scraps. So don't forget to go through your scrap bin and pull out things that will actually work with this. You can use it for die cutting and punches and journaling cards and cut aparts and, you know, when you don't want a whole sheet. So don't forget to use your scraps. Okay, I am going to stop here and I'm going to put all this luscious paper in a pile and I will come back and we're going to discuss the embellishments, the fun part. Okay, hang on. Okay, we're back, and so we're still working with our knockoff of Pink Paislee's Auburn Lane collection, and we have our papers done, so we're going to put that aside, and what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the embellishments, the fun part, and so I tried to lay these out as much as I could, so we could do this a little bit more quickly than the papers. And so I'll just give a rough feel of how I go about doing something like this. So once again, I looked at Jen's video and I looked at what Pink Paislee had listed on their website to get a, you know, a better representation so I could see a little closer as to what we get. And so what's the first thing I always do is I will start with thickers and alphas. And so did I have any kind of thicker that looked like a floral? No, but that's okay because I doubt I would have used that anyway. So I went with what I had and I went with just a basic black. A basic black that, you know, will go with any which way I decide to take the kit. And then they had a copper foil and I think the back side of that was going to be a pink foil. I don't need that. I don't have a copper foil alpha at all in my inventory, and that's okay because it doesn't matter, right? And again, the glare. So I went with a gold foil, again, more options, and then I just went with a simple pink alpha. So there I have a variety of style, color, and size. That's covered, okay? Right there, save me some money right there because thickers are not cheap, okay? So then what did we have next? We had chipboard frames, okay? And I thought, well, you know, do I have any chipboard frames? I didn't have chipboard frames in this color, but I found just cardstock frames in this color. And so then how I represented this actual cardstock, or these might even been wood veneers. I don't know. So what I did, I just saw that and I knew I had some darker wood veneer as they had in the wood grain in the collection. So I decided to just pull out some of these darker wood veneers, so I have both represented. I have the frames, and then I have the darker wood veneer slash chipboard. I have that covered. Okay, to go quickly, washi. Oh, We all love our washi, and I love these patterns represented in this collection. But do I need to spend $10 on a tube of washi for, you know, what is there, 5? 3? Yeah, 5. So what I did, I again took a representation. And I hope this is in frame. Yes? Okay. So I just went with what they had. A black, like a baby pink, a black and white stripe, which we all have. And then I took this more of a maroon, went with that. And then a floral. I didn't have a floral, but I just used a plain old pink floral. So there, I got some colors represented. Next up in the collection, and I hope I had that paper out of the way and you could see that. Okay, you see all this going on? This all came from my inventory. I didn't spend any money on any of this. At one time I did, but I mean to make this collection. And so what this is great for is that I'm taking things that's in my inventory, putting them together in another way, and having a new collection. Okay? And so stay tuned at the end so you'll see that if I would have bought this collection in the manner and how I did the product, how much I would have spent. A little bit of an eye-opener. Okay, so what did we have next up? Okay, we had sequins, bling and sequins. So I represented that in a way that I did have a few excuse me, copper embellishments in my inventory, and so I grabbed those. I mean, these are old school, but they're that copper. These are like from 2004, no joke. These copper paper clips. Well, I'm sure we all have them. And then also too, do not forget, I wanted to show something. So anything that was copper, botanical, floral, bling, I added it. I have hearts. I have even some stars. I have these roses that are not actually copper, but I just like them. They were floral. They were in my collection. Some paper clips. And I wanted to show these 2 items. Oh, and there was a butterfly wood veneer. Is that perfect? Not the same color as that, but it doesn't matter. It's going to fit. I wanted to show this little brad heart and this these little pearls, because this is something you can do. And I'm hoping those will show up. Something you can do is, and I really love these, I'm looking, is to buy a pack of these Sharpie metallics. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. And so what you can do is then take anything. Maybe if you have silver brads or you just have white pearls, and then you can get your metallics this way. I think maybe it's around $2 a piece for these. You can get them in a pack. And these are wonderful. I really like those. And so at one time I was playing around with either the copper or the golden. So, but see, I do have a copper, so I can have this as another option down the road if I find something and I want to color it. So I just color those pearls, color that brad with these metallics, let them dry. They're Sharpie, and it'll work really well. So that's another option. Work with what you have. If you don't have any copper or metallics, but you have some paint or pens or stickles or anything in the metallic, use it. Okay, so what do we have up next? Okay, stickers, icons, phrases, and so I'm going to show you what I do with stickers. Now I laid these all out on wax paper because I wanted to show you. Does that not go with all the papers we just picked? Honestly, this took like 5 to 6 minutes. I just went through my sticker sheets. I already knew my color scheme and my feel because of the papers we had pulled. And so can you see that? I just used the same colors. And I got the florals in there. I got the black and whites. I got different shapes, different colors, even maroon. Now, some people will say, why do you put them on wax paper? Well, wax paper is just something I use, and I'll talk about wax paper many times in my videos, but I'll talk about that later, because you can put a sticker on there. It will come right back off. Now, if you were going to store this in a kit, which I will have a video coming up of different options to store kits, so look for that video. I keep them on a wax paper, and if I have this many, I will just sandwich it in between 2 pieces of cardstock, and when I'm ready to craft, scrap, they're all ready. And I'll tell you why I prefer to do it this way rather than pulling 6 or 7 sticker sheets, even though all the colors in the sticker sheet would not be what I want for the collection. I'll tell you why the last year or so I've been stopping to do that, because sometimes when I make kits, and I make a lot of kits, those sticker sheets will stay in that kit until I get around, and then maybe always remain in that kit, and I could have used all the other stickers for something else. So I honestly just try to pull out a piece of wax paper, stick some down. It doesn't matter if you have 10 or 20 or 30. It doesn't matter. Okay? It just means you already have something in your inventory that'll work. pull it, I do put them on wax paper, sandwich in between 2 pieces of cardstock, and they'll stay fine. And then when you're ready, it's just a customized sticker. Well, this would be, what, 12 by 12, really? This is a 12 by 12 sticker sheet that I pulled together just with what was in my inventory. Honestly, took a few minutes. I love having stickers like this, especially when you're building clusters, and I love to build clusters. You just stick and go, honestly. So I won't leave this here because it takes up too much room, but that's all you have to do. Just pull some off your sticker sheets, put them on wax paper, protect them in your kit when you're storing. Okay, so then what do we have next? So that covers that stickers, covers the phrases, things like that. So then we went into die cuts. Okay, so die cuts, I'll just leave that there, die cuts. So I organize my die cuts in sheets like this in binders, and I'll talk about that later down the road. So I knew I wanted these Maggie Holmes floral because this is a heavily represented floral collection. So I just pulled those. Not all will work, but some will work. Again, more florals. There's nothing on the back. And then also too, I didn't have a lot of that forest green. So I found these butterflies, anything to do with home, botanical. I thought these were good. So I just pulled them out of my binder. We'll stick them in with the kit. That represents these die cuts and ephemera. Okay. So what else do I have here? So as I was pulling this, you know, you're getting a feel. You already know your colors. You know what your theme is. So anything I saw that was represented and those colors or the motif, I simply just put. And since the collection does have a lot of florals, I thought, what better way than to go get my flowers out, because we have them. We don't use them as much as we used to. And I thought, what better way to get these florals, you know, start playing with these florals a little more. And honestly, these colors put together, I actually feel like I want to use these, because they've just been sitting in a box for a while. So I have my actual flowers, and plus this adds some texture and dimension. I got my flare, again, maroon. Oh, yes, I love that. Butterflies again, botanical, got that mustard yellow in. And this is one thing I want to say. If when you're working through your collection and pulling papers and you see, I don't really have a lot of that color, that's okay. Use what product you have in other areas. Maybe it's flare, maybe it's washi tape, or maybe it's flowers, or maybe it's journaling cards. Whatever color you don't feel like you can represent well in paper, just do it in your embellishments. So then, as I was getting the feel, I'm thinking family, home, floral, all that. Okay, so I found these metallic, I think they're gold. Things start to look the same after a while. These sequins, I thought, oh, what better way to put those in there? Okay, and then of course with the home, I picked up some family and home and keys and locks and labels and this forest green. I didn't have a lot of forest green, so I thought, well, I'll just find some embellishments that do the forest green. So I did. And then I just had some journal cards that just suck out at me, you know, family, home, things like that. I just picked that in, put them in, we're good to go. Like, I didn't pull a lot, just a few, because sometimes if you just put a couple in and you see them in your kit, you'll think, oh, I can always go back. You know, you'll be reminded to go back and look. Okay, so die cuts. And then, of course, you know, home, floral, had to add some buttons. And then, you know, you can pick out some specialty buttons. I found this one, this is by Prima. It actually had a key, and I thought, oh, it's perfect. I picked out some, I had maroon braids. Oh my, wonder how long those have been in my inventory, but that's okay. They're gonna be perfect for this. So buttons and braids and anything in the color scheme. And there's even a flower pink button, a maroon heart. You see how it all goes together because we're doing the feel, the mood, the theme, and most of all the color scheme. Okay, again, I didn't have a lot of forest green represented in my papers, but I knew when I went to my product I could find some things. I found some floss, I found some string, I found some ribbon. Yes, this has, well, they've just been in my inventory. Wow, I've been scrapbooking a while. I found some black rickrack. I found white and cream lace. Again, makes me feel like home. Again, different texture, different varieties, different product, different fun. Okay, I think that is a good representation and a quick view. And I just realized I think my video's flipped. Oh, things just don't go easy, do they? Well, we will figure that out on top of everything else. Oh, wow. Okay, well, we're just going to keep on rolling and see what we come up with. Okay, so one last thing with your product. You may not have a variety of product. That's okay. Go with what you have. Use your punches, use your dies, and make product. For example, you know in the kit, we instead of the cut aparts, I always chose to go with some 6x6 papers, correct? So what you can do is you can take these 6x6 papers before you even start using it to scrap. You can go ahead and get your punches and dies out and look what you have that might be in the motif. And that one goes in with that one. And look at these dies and punches that I use to make this whole variety of ephemera pack. Right? That's what I'm going to call it, ephemera. Isn't that what we already pay $4.99, $5.99 for? I used the postage, I used some text, I used the black, the teal. Again, didn't have any forest green, so I went with the aqua teal, the yellow, and I used butterflies and flowers, and any kind of label will work. Butterflies. And I just sat down and just dug out my punches and dies that went with this, watching TV with my hubby, and just played. And again, I'm not going to use all of these for this kit, and that's okay, because when I'm done, these will all go in my color bin, ready to go when I will make some fast pages. Okay, so I wanted to show us another option. You may not have all of these. That's okay. Use what you have. There's no right or wrong. You can make your kit as big, as small as you want. You might only want to go with 6 sheets of this collection. You might only go with 1 alpha and a third of these embellishments. That's good. You make it how you want it and how you scrap. Okay, so let's see what our final would reveal would be, is if we went with the papers that I showed previously, all the embellishments that I showed, and that's a lot of embellishments. That is a huge variety of embellishments, is it not? Okay, final reveal, and then you can see later in another video how I bag this up, or I may just add it to the end of this. Okay, so final reveal. The papers, which was 24 papers and a specialty, because I know me, I would have wanted 1 of each sides. Raise your hand, you know what I'm talking about. And the embellishments. And I probably would have bought most of these except the rub ones. I don't buy rub ones anymore. That's just not my thing. So, final reveal. You ready to go? You see that? $74.66. Yeah, wowzers. That's a little bit of an eye-opener, isn't it? $74.66 for all these embellishments, stickers, papers. Well, you think about it. One piece of specialty paper now is $1.99. That's hefty. Okay, it has to be really special for me. Okay, and I had 24 sheets. They're 99 cents. Okay, all these papers, all these embellishments to get a representation of this Auburn lane. Because I said before, it's a beautiful collection. If you're not on a spending freeze and you like it, go buy it. And good luck finding it all in one place, because that never happens anymore. We have to pick and choose from here and there. So, yes, $74.66. So, $75 I saved. And if you've ever bought the majority of a collection, you know that that figure is accurate. You can easily spend $50 like that on a collection. Okay, so I hope this is something enjoyable for you. I know I love to do this. I absolutely love. And then when you can take the cue off of a manufacturer or a designer you like, and then do a knockoff, a replication of something you like, and then you save money on using what's in your inventory. Does it get any better than that? I don't think so. So, okay, ladies, that's it. I probably maybe might add a clip at the end. Okay, I thought I would add additional clip at the very end. And I don't know if this one's going to be flipped either, but we'll go with it. I wanted to show you, since I went from start to finish, I actually wanted to show you what I do to bag up kits like this. And I have a video up or coming up that shows different options for storing our crafting kits. And so this is what I'm going to do. Simply, I'm going to open up my bag, and I have my sticker sheet sandwiched in some paper in there. Simply put this in, and when I'm doing this, I just go from small to big and do that. And so I have my die cuts, my die cut sheets, and stick that in there. And I'll tell you why you go from big to small, because then you can see more of your product when they're in the bag. Okay? because you want to be able to see a representation of your bag. That's wherever you store them. So then I have all those embellishments. So I just bagged everything up, you know, kind of in a category type of thing. You know, my flowers in one, my wood veneer and faux chipboard in that, my die cuts, my bling, my washi, and my ribbon. Oh, and then another thing. When I was just walking around, actually, I see these doilies up here, and I thought, you know what, doesn't that look like home and things too? So I thought, I'll just stick a few doilies in there. Why not, right? So I just bag, you know, just use little plain old baggies, and I just stick them in. And believe me, these things are going to settle down to the bottom. It's okay. It's all good. And these bags are awesome. You'll see them in my other video. Love these bags. So there you go. There is everything. And then what I'm going to do is, since I have a representation, I'm going to stick that right in there. And is that just not perfect to have this? I'm going to zip this up. And there is my entire knockoff of my pink Paislee Auburn Lane collection ready to go. I am ready to scrap. I can take this when I travel or just sitting in my craft room playing. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for sticking with me and for bearing with me for all these little mistakes I made, but it's all good. And thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed this. And if you like to make collection kits, let me know. Let me know some of your tips and tricks. And also, if you see a collection that's coming out, you have your eye on, you're like, don't really want to spend the money, list it below. Maybe we can do it together. Okay, just tell me what you like to see. I have some other ones coming up. I have a Webster page coming up. I have a Pink Fresh coming up and a Fancy Pants release coming up, knockoffs. So, you know, spending free, saving money, that's what it's about. And we're going to have some fun this summer scrapbooking. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, hit the notification button, leave a comment. I love to chat. And come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to learn. Take care. Bye. Have a great day.